What's up, guys? Welcome back to T.U.G.S.
Well, this is simply below me.
Get your Infinity Gauntlet helmet out of here. Oh, it's a crown. That's what it is, a crown. Anyways, the jig is up, ladies and gentlemen, and everything you know about esports is a goddamn lie, and we've got the testimony to prove what we have already assumed for many years.
Yes, much like the incredible athletes who came before them, like Lance Armstrong, Alex Rodriguez, Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Roger Clemens, Sammy Sosa, Jose Canseco, and pretty much every professional wrestler ever.
Heroes. Yeah. They're all heroes.
Professional gamers are now being exposed for using performance-enhancing drugs.
Yes, in a very nonchalant interview between two people involved heavily in the ESL or esports league, one of whom is part of Cloud9, which, if you don't know, is a very prominent team in esports.
Chasing the cup.
Yeah, Corey Friesen, who goes by the handle Semphis, and Mohan Govindasamy, aka Launders, they get very candid and open about how drugs are pretty much permeating through the entire league and all of its events.
Semphis starts off by saying, "The ESL comms are kind of funny in my opinion." Then he laughs for a second before opening up. "I don't even care. We were all on Adderall. I don't even give a fuck. It was pretty obvious if you listen to the comms. People can hate it or whatever."
What's Adderall, Brett?
Adderall is described as a psychostimulant drug used in the treatment of attention deficit disorder and is used recreationally as a performance and cognitive enhancer.
I mean, so literally by its own definition, it is a performance enhancing drug that these athletes are using, and no doubt have been using to get an edge on their competition. Though that edge might be dull, because we wouldn't be surprised if this whole Adderall thing was an epidemic within esports with all teams using it. Yeah. So it's kind of a level playing field, I guess.
Everyone is fucked.
Anyways, the conversation between Semphis and Launders continued on.
Launders followed up with, "Everyone does Adderall at Esports Entertainment Association League events, right?"
Semphis then says, "Yeah."
Then Launders fires back with, "Just throwing that out there for the fans. That's how you get good."
To which Semphis replies, "And you can hear it in the comms, right? That's what was so funny to me. Like people saying, shit, comms are so hectic. So yeah, that might clear up some of the question of why it's like that," which, wow, that's an incredibly careless conversation about drug use in sports, telling fans that's how you get good. I mean, that's like if in that old soda commercial, Mean Joe Green tossed the kid who offered him a Coca-Cola a bunch of steroids instead of his jersey, and was like, "Hey kid, here, you wanna get good, right?" Just throws a bunch of needles on him, just like, stuck to his cheeks, like hanging out.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, those rosy red cheeks didn't come from too much pinching from Aunt Grace. Steroids from Mean Joe Green. You heard it here first on T.U.G.S.
Ricky's on drugs.
It's an exclusive.
Mean Joe Green?
Yeah, nobody knows who Mean Joe Green. You'll find it.
Google it.
Yeah.
This whole thing sucks and really makes you wonder if these fuckboys would be just as good if they weren't sucking down ADHD medication during big tournaments with anywhere from tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line.
Dollars from sponsors who probably wouldn't want their brands associated with drug use.
And sure, there will be lots of players out there saying, "Well, I'm prescribed Adderall. I can't not use it."
First of all, you most likely don't need it, and you were born into a generation where your parents would rather stuff your stupid fucking face full of prescription drugs and sit you in front of a glowing screen to get you to shut up instead of actually doing parenting.
And second, if you actually do have serious ADHD and need the drugs, you shouldn't be using them in the time frame of where you are competing in what is considered a legitimate sport on an international stage.
So we here at T.U.G.S would fully back an initiative where esports athletes get drug tested before every major event. We're looking at you, ESL. We're looking at you, MLG, UMG, and whatever franchise, I don't even know. Just fucking drug test your fucking athletes before shit really hits the fan. That's all I gotta say about that.
Come on, drum roller.
Passionate. But let's move on because there's a few other things kicking around the T.U.G.S universe this week.
Yeah, speaking of esports, that dude that no one younger than 25 even knows about, Colin Cowherd, has resigned from ESPN.
This whole episode is just sports references that no one...
It is very sports heavy. So he resigned probably because they will not agree to never show esports on the channel. Like, Colin, we're gonna be showing esports. And then he just punches a hat. I'm out of here.
It was that easy.
Yeah.
At least that's what we'd like to imagine.
Yeah.
Let's talk about doomed video game projects, and no, we're not talking about Doom because that game actually looks pretty great.
Actually, we're talking about Dead Island 2 because it's been announced that the developer for the upcoming zombie game sequel, which is actually technically the 4th game in the franchise, has been removed from the project entirely.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
In a statement released to IGN News, a real gaming news site, publisher Deep Silver said, "With Dead Island 2, Deep Silver has always been dedicated to delivering the sequel that Dead Island fans deserve after careful consideration. Today we announced the decision to part ways with development partner Jaeger. We will continue working toward bringing our vision of Dead Island 2 to life, and we will share further information at a later stage.
So, regardless of there being a game for the trailer, who the fuck knows if this thing will actually ever be released?
That is tough.
I actually really liked the first Dead Island, and I actually tried to convince myself that I liked the Dead Island MOBA for a few short weeks. Remember that? You guys remember that?
Yeah.
You called me out for it. It was fun. So I was kind of looking forward to this, but oh well. Zombie games, much like their protagonists, simply refuse to die, so it'll probably still come out right on schedule. Who knows?
Fingers crossed.
That reference.
Yeah.
But speaking of games that desperately need new developers, what the fuck has happened to Tony Hawk Pro Skater?
Seriously, what was once the absolute pinnacle for skateboarding games, until Skate came out, has become nothing but a cash grab for a younger audience.
After a failed attempt at physical controllers that not even the pros behind the game could operate,
and after a failed launch of a throwback HD version of the game,
they officially released a trailer for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, which looks like the failed HD remake that was released 3 years ago.
Yeah, seriously, this game appears to have the graphics of an Android or an iOS game. It's pretty confusing. Maybe all that money for this game went into licensing shitty punk rock for it that will play over and over ad nauseum until you run out and buy a Punkorama CD.
Oh my god, Punkorama?
Who knows?
Every reference in this episode is just
way over everyone's heads.
If you remember Punkorama, you're as old as us and you're fucked.
There's gonna be a lot of kids going, hey mom, what's this Adderall thing? I want to become a pro gamer. T.U.G.S told me that I need Adderall to
Get good.
Yeah, get good.
Get on Adderall, listen to Punkorama volume
whatever.
45 now. All we know is it looks terrible, but we're not experts. Shibby is. So without further ado, Shibby, what are you reviewing this week?
Bring in whatever he is. Oh, he's Conrad the raccoon. Everyone get that reference. All right, you're on the chopping block, Shib.
It's not a Pokemon.
Remember, we're not timing you anymore, so you're self-policing.
Okay. Ark Survival Evolved basically. Wait, no.
You still don't get to go back, don't worry.
That's the title. Hold on.
Yes, say the title very slowly and clearly so people know what you're talking about before you just ramble on for 10 seconds.
So the review is Ark Survival Evolved. Basically take over.
It's like a book report.
Basically take the over 10,000 negative reviews of Batman Arkham Knight, make them all positive and double it, and that's how well Ark Survival Evolved is doing on Steam. That is saying quite a bit. Every Twitch streamer is straight stroking it because this game has dinosaurs, player versus player, open world, weather system, crafting, base building, and more. The ability to actually eat poop, either a dinosaur or your own, which then kills your character, is literally some next level shit.
Yeah.
People are complaining about PVO, or player versus offline are simply bitch-made gamers and need to play on other servers with a bunch of other Care Bear
It's a bunch of boars in the woods.
with other Care Bear fuckboys.
Yeah.
There needs to be some balancing, but fuck it, it's early access. For an alpha game, this game looks pretty goddamn impressive at the $30 price tag. It's competitive to the other bullshit that gets put out today, like the $20 Destiny dance emotes. Having said all that, Amazon Prime Day was a total bust. 0 out of 10.
All right, woo!
Don't blame this on Prime Day.
I cannot watch. I can't wait to watch Care Boars on the Disney Channel.
Care Boars.
That
was a rough one.
Thank you, Shibby, but I was mistaken because you aren't an expert either. Only the regular Joes out there matter, so let's pull another week from history, and this week, it's user submitted.
Ooh, very special. It's for the now classic Sims 3 from user your boy Daquan. So your boy Daquan on Steam, he says,
had 12 kids with 8 different women. Became president, then died when I tried cooking spaghetti. 10 out of 10.
So that's
Wow.
that is
a real review.
the actual first 10 out of 10 serious review I think that we've had on the show. So bravo, your boy Daquan. That was great.
It's your boy.
It's your boy Daquan. Awesome. So Shibby,
bullshit.
everyone, let's get in here and take a bow. Another episode of T.U.G.S.
Oh, it's all
So
over.
we have lots of bad news.
We have bad news.
Me and Elliot are going to the Middle East next week, so we can't do an episode of T.U.G.S. So I'm sorry, but enjoy. Just watch this one next week.
But we'll have lots of time to think of ideas we won't implement in time for the next episode, so don't worry.
Also, this is like our 200th episode, so just go watch the old ones too.
Yeah.
All right, everyone take a bow and go. You're welcome. This content's great.